Hidden Object Guru here, joined by...
The Unabridged Gamer!
And we are here for some Ryse, Son of Rome, a game who I've never approved of, of which I've never approved of its title.
Yeah, this one was... I have such conflicted feelings about this because in so many ways, personally, I should hate this game because it's ultra-linear, it's very focused on graphics over everything else, the storytelling is all over the map, and yet I kind of love it. It just somehow offers the Call of Duty experience, but in such an unfamiliar way that it's very distinctive.
Whereas for me, you're absolutely right about the Call of Duty experience, but for me, I hated everything except for the combat, which I adored.
Oh, it's fun as hell, and it's way more satisfying than it has any right to be.
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting the combat to be this good, but I'm like, as I watch, Picts invading Rome, I'm like, you hate history, don't you, game? Like, I feel like the game... Like, yes, barbarians did invade Rome, but, they were from the northeast of Rome. People didn't, start in London and work their way all the way to Rome. There were different barbarians.
And don't get me started on what they did with Boudica.
Oh my god. Wow.
But, on the positive note...
Yes.
So now what you're seeing here is we're playing the game's co-op mode, which was an interesting choice for a launch title. I actually think it makes sense because when the Xbox One launched, there weren't going to be a ton of people for competitive. Yeah. So you can have up to yourself and one friend fighting it out in the arena. The arena will morph and change as we're playing. And at the very start, you have to select your god, which is basically select what kind of perks you want to have.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to go with? Because
go with Jupiter, because then we get focused gain and can go into hyper mode faster.
All right, I'll choose Apollo then because he gives us health regain.
Nice. Yeah, it's I played a bunch of this, sometimes co-op and sometimes alone, and then I noticed that they wanted you to constantly be spending money to buy perks in order to increase your rank faster, and I'm like, I'm not doing that, and so I didn't. Sorry, are you playing as the guy from... What the hell?
Yeah, you can unlock the nano suit. It's a thing.
From Crisis.
Yeah, I forgot that I had that set. I did it as a lark one time with a friend, and apparently I still had it set there that you can do that.
Okay, I'm like... honestly, for one moment, I was like, are you playing as Jason X?
No, but I mean... We're getting pretty close to Raiden surprising everyone in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yeah, it really does feel that way. Alright, so now we have to reach the Tree of the Gods. Apparently the audience is super entertained by us running.
They were
now, for the record, I have not played this game in, and this is not an exaggeration, 5 years. So... do I remember how to do the combat at all? No. What do I do when there's a finishing move over a man's head?
Right trigger.
Okay, thank you. There we go. Now it's just... There we go. Oh, I slit his throat. Well, that's fine, but not the kind of awesome move I was hoping. Oh, God! That's more what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this thing has some bloody, brutal things.
Yeah, I mean, I remember fondly cutting off dudes' arms. Lopping off dudes' arms and legs and stabbing people through the head. Like, it had very satisfying combat. And it still does. I just have to figure out which is... there's my dodge button. Okay.
Yeah, B is dodge, A is... You're playing with controller, right?
Of course. I'm not a crazy person. So is someone throwing... Why is there a mark on the ground?
I don't understand that myself. Y is the heavy attack, and X is traditional, and A is for blocking.
Okay. A is for blocking. Gotcha. Oh right, it's the what do you call it? It's the parry.
Yeah.
Oh god, there's the arm cut off. Oh, that was rude. That was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, that made me very happy to watch. Oh, that's you. Yeah, they're firing rockets at us. Rockets. They're firing catapult.
There's something
balls at us.
a little down here.
Yeah, just a crazy mismanagement of Roman history in this one. I mean, I know they're allowed. It's fine. It was thousands of years ago. They can be as crazy as they want. But wow, were they all over the map with this one. Reach, climb the scaffolding. Okay. And I'm always sad when they butcher the most interesting man of his time. And I mean, they did it a little. Why are they disinterested in it? We're brutalizing people. Ugh. I gotta say, I am of the mind that this audience is way too hard to please. But yes,
we're working with Twitch streamer audiences. They want the bits. They want the lulls.
Okay. But yeah, Commodus, such an interesting part of history. This, crazed madman who fought in an arena. I'll be honest with you, I have no memory of how to do the, how to use the spears. Are you fighting people back there? No. Oh, you've got a rocket launcher.
Yes, the ye old rocket launcher.
Ye oldie rocket launcher.
To be fair, it basically works like one considering just how much damage and how quickly it fires.
Yeah, it's a
really.
Oh, there we go. Honestly, I'm trying to remember. I'm lopping off arms, cutting off legs. Can you in fact cut off people's heads in this? Or was that was the weird oversight in the game that really bothered me? That despite the pedigree and despite the type of thing it was, you couldn't cut off people's heads.
I do believe you can. It just.
Okay. Oh, I love these finishing moves though.
Also, the sheer amount of context sensitivity to the combat, they put a lot of it can all be very flexible.
Oh, completely. I just made a dude plummet off of, I was finishing off a dude next to what am I blanking on? What word am I blanking? Yes, next to a ledge, and so the move was spin him around, stab him in the back, and then just kind of tilt him over the side. It was awesome. Sorry, pal. You're brutalized. Oh. I kind of love that his weapons just rocks tied to sticks. Okay, this guy's getting ridiculous. You can block everything apparently.
Are things still happening for you? My game just froze.
Something is froze on you?
Yeah, my game's frozen completely.
So's the enemy. I'm just free to walk around. Oh, that's weird. He's locked in place. All right, let's.
That would be because I'm the host.
Yeah.
So your game's. I'm gonna have to restart my end. Hold
no,
on.
Go ahead and restart it. And we're back. That was weird. Yeah, the guy just fell over and you started moving again. Apparently, we have to kick a gate open. So one of my all-time favorite games in the subgenre of of Gladiators is. Are you familiar with Colosseum?
Vaguely. I got another freeze. Hold on, I'm gonna try alt-tabbing again, see if that's what's next. This is weird. I mean,
very weird. Yeah, because I'm kicking the levers and it's just not happening.
Yeah, it was doing that for me too, and hold on, I'm checking my performance. No, I'm that's the amazing thing is that the footprint in this game is actually way lower than any Crytek game I can think of.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, back on my machine before this one, before I got any upgrades, I was able to run it fine. This time I think we're done. As in, I think I need to restart.
We'll restart the game.
I'm back.
Yeah, it may not be stable, but it does have wonderfly brutal combat. And I'll say this, that whole sequence when you're running around the foggy moors outside London made me super happy. That whole sequence is very entertaining.
They have fun with it, despite the fact that they are also definitely having fun with it.
Oh, yeah. I think that's completely accurate. Use the oil cauldron. Okay, we can do that. Only there was some way to effectively... There we go. I feel like in the main game, they do a Batman-style little sign telling you when to parry. Am I remembering that wrong?
No, you don't really do much beyond giving you animation prompts.
Okay, so it is just animation cues.
And weirdly, despite loving the Arkham games, I kind of prefer that at this point because it made me pay a lot more attention to what the character was doing.
I get that, but honestly, just from a playability standpoint, I always prioritize putting a marker on screen. That's just... I'm so happy that Senran Kagura, for their new one, has added a marker on screen. Like, thank you.
Arkham combat?
No, but the parrying is an important part of the game. And honestly, like, the enemies attack so quickly and with such often obtuse animations that being told when there's going to be a... I'd love to use the oil cauldron. I say to kill these people first. Being told when an attack is coming is super useful. Nice. That is a lot of guys. You know, looking at this game, I'm surprised to hear that it is not a memory hog.
Oh yeah. I'm only like using like 6 gigabytes of memory. I think I have Firefox open simultaneous to this.
Wow.
That's one of the few benefits of this being a launch title for the bloody Xbox, is that they optimized it to hell. And
yeah. Okay. So remember how I was saying there's custom attacks for when you're next to a cliff?
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy. I just did one, which, you know, I kicked the guy off the cliff, and it looked awesome. But the problem is... Uh-oh. Oh, poor guy.
Come on, if you can execute, I need an execute.
I did the execution next to a cliff, and the guy goes flying off, and he goes, ah! You know, do the whole screaming off the edge of the cliff thing. Except it's just the pedestal here next to the pedestal here
right
next to the thing. So he fell 2.5 feet, is what I'm saying. It was quite a dramatic yell for a guy falling 2.5 feet. Yes, finally! Oh god, I've just been fighting 2 Minotaur men, and...
Oh, I've got 2 down here. Seriously, if you're missing them, I've got plenty more for you to fight.
Gotcha. No, okay, I remember what it is. You have to figure out when to do the parry, but when there's an unblockable attack, they'll flash red, and that's when you're supposed to dodge. Yeah, they don't flash green when you have to parry, but they flash red when you have to dodge. Because, again, it's all color-coded to the Xbox controller. Which is, again, that's something that's a great job, because they knew, look, it's an Xbox, it's a launch title for their new system, there are people who are going to be playing this thing for the first time, let's give them a heads up. Why won't you die?
Froze again.
Oh, we're frozen again! Well,
I just understand, when I was doing this on AMD hardware, no problem.
But you move over into Intel and suddenly it's garbage. Yeah, you're going to have to check out the video because I hit that man 27 times because
I look forward to checking it out.
It wasn't letting him go into death mode as long as you were still frozen. Ah.
It's really hurting here.
Sorry, Club Master. You gotta go.
Fortunately, the freeze was slower this time, so there's that. But this is the weird thing I've been having, is everybody's like, oh man, why'd you use AMD? You should be using NVIDIA. The second I had an NVIDIA hardware, as much as I'm glad for the friend who gifted it to me, the fact of the matter is, I've actually had more glitches. I can't get past the first hour in Prey.
Okay, that's great.
Like, legitimately, it freezes, it crashes. I am so good at that tutorial sequence, I gotta tell ya.
You can just zip through it instantaneously.
It feels like I'm stuck in some sort of Twilight Zone skit. I this guy
Yeah.
done with
It fits in well in the theme of the game, where, I mean, the whole premise of the game is that you do that day over and over and over again, so your experience with it is actually more accurate to the plot of the game than if people were to just play the game. Because you are getting to experience the 50-odd days that your character actually did that over and over again within the narrative, rather than just seeing 2 of them. Ah, yes, finally! Yeah, I don't know if there's a trick to killing that guy, but that guy is unbelievably annoying.
Yeah, I'm sure they're amused. We're amused too.
Oh no! Hey, that guy that just took us forever to kill, what if he also had fire on his side? Sorry, pal. Uh-oh. Oh, they got ram's heads on. You know, they're pagans. Is that reductive? Like, is that insulting to pagans to say that of course it makes sense that they got ram's heads on?
Nah, for that time period, pretty.
That was fine, right?
That was a pretty typical thing, and it's pretty iconic imagery with that. So it's
okay, so I'm not knocking the pagans here.
Well,
Oh,
around.
do a finishing move. Stabbed him in the back pretty effectively then.
Ah!
Perfect chain! Oh, just die already. Yes! No!
Yeah, well, I got our
finishing
friend
move.
from before. What? How can you dodge everything?
Wait, don't you have to go into focus mode to kill this guy or something?
I was able to finally get stunned enough times. I just gotta keep spamming Y.
I'll be honest with you, I don't remember how to go into focus mode.
I think it's one of the bumpers. I finally got him. Hold on. There we go.
Nice. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
serious. It's just like, that guy is too good at blocking. Because the thing in Batman is, like, whenever there's a guy like that, at least you understand the logic of how that there's always a trick to fighting him. Whether it's you're supposed to stun him and climb on him, whether you're supposed to get behind him, whether you're supposed to let him attack and like deflect his knives. Like there's always some trick. Whereas this hammer guy, I don't know what we're supposed to do. You know? It's just not clear to me. All right, what is the next battle?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. I've actually only gotten around to round 1 skin. Playing this solo is a bit tense.
Oh my god, yeah, no, I again did that a bunch when it came out, and then I gave up pretty hardcore.
Like, there are some co-op games that I have found you can do solo, like Starbreeze's Syndicate. Believe it or not, I have played pretty much every single one of those maps solo except for Colorado. That map is freaking nuts. But this is insane to try to do as one person.
Oh yeah, no, because they don't lessen the number of enemies at all. Like, it's always the full number of enemies. It's quite frustrating. I know I say this a lot, but the best co-op game is Sniper Elite 4. I mean, you kind of have to be into the Sniper Elite games, obviously, but if you like sniping and you like co-op, it is the game for you.
We froze again.
Do we not jump down there? Oh, we froze again. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just left here staring at our asses, quite literally, right now.
Okay, well, as we've learned, you will unlock at some point.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's like...
Tab out, tab back in.
Brief intervention, people, get your popcorn. The contestants are frozen right now.
This is a good time to duck out to the bathroom. You know.
Oh my gosh. I'm not kidding. On AMD, I was basically running on hardware that shouldn't have been able to run this game, given
And
just
it played
how
fine.
poorly optimized CryEngine. Yeah, fine.
Wow.
I have footage from then. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, just astounding. In some ways, it still actually looks better than more recent games like Battlefront 2017. But, yeah, here I am. Look at me. Like if I was, and we're back,
Oh no, I saw. Burn the Wicker Man. Okay, I guess I can change that.
That means Nicholas Cage is around any corner.
Yeah, you can't, and I know this is a weird complaint to make, to focus on, but I remember massively complaining, and it being a big part of my, experience with the game. What? I'm not allowed to cut off people's heads? Shouldn't that be, like, integral to the combat in this world? Like, we're doing sword fighting, we've all got swords and axes. Why are these guys' heads not coming? Just for dramatic reasons alone. Nice. You can cut off arms. I think a leg can come off now and again. But yeah, no decapitation. And weirdly, I think that actually factored into my review. Because I might be a crazy person.
To be fair, this game's pretty much all about blood and guts.
Exactly. So to leave out cutting off dudes' heads with a sword, it's like, why are you, why else are you making a sword fighting game?
I will give the game one compliment, though, that almost no one does, which is back during the launch of the Xbox One, when they were really emphasizing the whole pause and play aspect, this game right there with Sunset Overdrive was all in on that, because even on the PC version, when you pop into the menus, it's smooth as hell. It's like Halo Reach levels of, yeah, I can just go into the menu, go right back to what I was doing, and you barely blink.
That's true.
That was, I think, one of the most impressive things to me about the Xbox One, and it always made me feel sad that they didn't really stick to that after a while, because that is actually making it better than a PC, is making it be that smooth.
Yeah. No, and that is a great aspect. And honestly, like, there were a couple of good launch titles for this thing. This was a solid game to play. I mean, there's not a lot of depth to it, and I can understand people aren't going to keep playing it after a little while. But it's actually a pretty solid game. Kill the barbarians attacking the temple. Will do. But it's like, between this and Dead Rising, I was super satisfied with my purchase of this thing.
Whoa,
I mean,
big bear guy.
Oh, there we go.
Also,
having it come out with, at the same time as the PS4 was very frustrating. There we go.
I figured out what the focus button is. It's right bumper.
Right bumper, okay. So when my focus is full... Whoa! Sorry, Bear Man.
We'll get you next time, bears.
Nice work. Sad you didn't get to do your finishing move on it now.
It's fine.
Taking hold of the defiled temple. Will do.
Why would you want the temple defiled? I mean, it's already past warranty. You're not getting your deposit back at that point.
It can be reconsecrated. You know how temples are. We say defiled, but that's really just a state of mind. Alright, defiled temple. Here we go.
It's over here.
Got it.
Follow the walking scent of my health bar.
Oh, so wonderfully brutal. Nice. Oh, what the hell?
You broke part of the defiled temple. Now it's more defiled.
Yeah, that was my bad. Oh, I get it. It's... What the hell? Oh, as we're destroying it, it's getting cleaned up. As we're killing the guys, they're taking away the exhibits that are covered with their pagan offerings and replacing it with a purified temple. Oh, that's really nice. I was not expecting that, and that is a good effect.
Some kind of thing from the one thing to explode green.
I think, honestly, the transforming Colosseum is the most creative and interesting thing about this game's design.
Oh, completely. The fact that this was a secondary mode instead of the core focus still boggles my brain.
I mean, there is it is weird. It's like you could have made a whole game about this Colosseum. And, I mean, I hate to go back to my Road to Freedom Colosseum game, because that's the only thing I talk about when I'm talking about Roman themed games. It's like, in this setting, with this kind of combat, in this amazing... Whoa, whoops. I accidentally turned on focus.
Yeah, that's fine. You apparently made a guy available for me to stab, so thanks.
There you go. So yeah, like if they had taken this and built a whole game, with a narrative about a guy being in the Colosseum and fighting and going up the ranks and blah, 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 blah. If you had done all of that, you using this amazing Coliseum mode, I would argue that it would be a better game than the game we actually got. Nice. Bravo.
Thank you. I agree, and not only do I agree, the thing that boggles my mind is there was, believe it or not, a game that basically did that around this time, but no one remembers it.
I don't know how I missed it given my obsession. What was it?
There was a PSP game specifically called Gladiator.
Oh yeah, no, that was the sequel to Coliseum.
Oh, that was the sequel. Okay, because it's like
Yeah, it's by the same people.
Okay, gotcha.
It's the PSP sequel to it.
It was so obvious that people would go for this, and yet we're not doing this. We're not.
And it breaks again. Oh no, it looked like it.
There's a
Did you
circle.
use time stop?
I may have time stopped.
Okay. That kind of freaked me out again. Yeah, it's weird. It's so sad that... So those guys, they made this amazing Coliseum, Road to Freedom. They made the amazing PSP sequel, Gladiator, right? And then they took that engine, they took that concept, and they made the... And I'll say it. Unbelievably bad game, Clan of Champions or something like that. I think it's called Clan of Champions. And it is, you can generally get it for about 99 cents on Steam.
Wow.
It's the same basic game structure, only you're fighting like skeletons in a dungeon. And they took what had been a perfect combat system and completely botched it. By increasing the speed so much that it became almost unplayable. So yeah, if you want to see a developer... Are we not supposed to be getting a bridge? Oh, there it is. Oh, do we have to keep
firing
hitting
at
it?
us?
So, we're just supposed to wait.
The D-pad thing. I just hit a D-pad thing, and now my screen's glowing blue, and I don't understand why. See, I normally try to be, prepared and be like, oh, I know what's happening here, but with this one, I've never been able to get deep enough, so I'm about as new on this as you are.
Okay. But yeah, if you're looking for something truly like, oh, look, developers have, slaughtered their golden calf. Goose? Just check out Clan of Champions. Honestly, I may have a free copy of it because I got a review copy of it when it first came out, because I was like, oh my god, this is from the same developers who made one of my favorite games for the PS2. And then, the sequel for the PSP. Which I was never able to play very much because I can't really use PSP, and so that's not good.
I might be able to help you with that.
Why is that?
PSP emulator PPSSPP is actually pretty far along at this point.
Really?
That's how I review all those PSP games. I record them through that. And not only that, there's even a build of PPSSPP that you can use on a Wii U.
Okay, that's amazing.
It's an unfinished build. It can only play certain things like Street Fighter 3 Alpha, but still, it can actually play some things on there. It's nuts.
Because I remember trying PPSSPP a couple of years ago, for the only game I would ever play, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. And it crashed all the time.
Oh, now you can actually do Monster Hunter with split-screen co-op. You can load 4 instances at once and have everyone assigned to a different controller.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
It's probably one of the best emulators around. It doesn't require any BIOS ripping or anything like that, so it's even less legally ambiguous depending on what country you're in. It's just amazing. Personally,
I've never understood legal issues with emulation. I have a PSP. I have a ton of PSP games. For physical reasons, I've been capable of playing my PSP, and they don't want me to do it on an emulator with an Xbox controller because... And by the way, these are all games they're not trying to sell anymore.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I am not taking money out of anyone's pocket, especially since I already bought all the games. I mean, I want to play I don't know if you're familiar with my love for, obsession with, history with the game Dead to Rights.
Oh, I can see you liking that.
Yeah, I wrote the longest video game review ever written about Dead to Rights.
Oh my.
It's 50-some pages.
What?
It is a complete...
That's a novella!
No, it is. And it is a complete going into every single detail about the game. Every single thing that is baffling about it, that it does wrong, is weird and kind of dumb. Every single thing I go into. It's a ridiculously in-depth game, I would say. Right, destroy the catapult. It's ridiculously in-depth, and it's so ridiculously in-depth that it actually got mentioned in Dead to Rights 2.
Really? You got mentioned in Dead to Rights 2?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, my review got mentioned in the game Dead to Rights 2. That is how ridiculously in-depth that review was. So anyway, what was funny about it, right? Take that, wow, that time slow really does work. Oh, Spartan kick. Nice. Yeah, but the thing is, what's fascinating is Dead to Rights 2 is a game that was cobbled together after, like, so Dead to Rights 2 was kind of sitting in, like, development hell. They didn't really know what they were doing with it. It was kind of frustrating. So they ended up firing the guy who made Dead to Rights, because apparently he was difficult to work with. That's just hearsay from the person who wrote Dead to Rights 2 and mentioned me. But anyway, apparently he was hard to work with. And he got fired, and he went off and did, what do you call it? There we go. Well, Not So Much Fired is taken off the project, and the project was put into turnaround. And he went and he made the 50-cent game instead.
Oh my gosh.
The 50-cent game is kind of, in its own way, Dead to Rights 2.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And we froze again.
Oh, right as I was doing my two-person finishing move.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I love the two-person finishing moves. They're hard to pull off. Because you got to get two guys into low health at the same time, which means you just got to focus on, like, you got to get one guy into critical health, then only block his attacks, don't attack him while you're getting other guys into critical health. I believe there's also three-person finishers.
There are, but they are extremely hard to get.
Yeah, again, because it's so hard to manage three guys who are constantly attacking you. But anyway, so he went off and made the 50-cent bulletproof, and then they just kind of canceled. He got let go. They canceled Dead to Rights 2. But then they made Dead to Rights 2 anyway. And Dead to Rights 2 is, in just every way, kind of a disaster. Oh, the head stomp! Is kind of a disaster. And so I found out that what happened was Dead to Rights 2, like, they had removed all of the terrible, like, they removed the whole plot, they completely threw away all of these assets, and they just threw something together quickly because they thought the Dead to Rights name had some degree of value. And what got super interesting was, they then took all of the assets that they had thrown away for Dead to Rights 2 and made it into a PSP game. So there's this PSP game that is the original version of Dead to Rights 2.
Oh my gosh! You know, it's crazy hearing this because did you see my video on N-Space's work with Battlefront?
Yes!
I'm thinking this is the exact...
It's the exact same story. Yeah, I know. And I kind of feel like, I'm not saying if you wanted to, I'm just saying it kind of fits your vibe if you wanted to collaborate on a video about Dead to Rights. It does
now you got
fit
me
your brain.
Need help. Hold on.
I know. Can you heal me, or how does this work?
Hold on. I just gotta hold down A.
Thank
there
you.
you are. Now we're back.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying, I think it might fit your brand enough that if you wanted to collaborate on a video about Dead to Rights saga, you should consider doing that with me.
That is amazing. That is...
It's just such a weird story. And then they came back with Dead to Rights 360, which isn't as bad as people said it was. it got much worse notices than I think it deserved.
Oh, you can kick the big bear guys into the pit. I like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when they're stunned, you can just kick people into the pit. That is... I wish I had known that sooner.
Oh, bear guy. They're so annoying. Oh.
This is Discount Sparta!
The worst part is, so I got bear guy into death state, and I was ready to do the super, but then when I pressed the finishing move button, the game's like, aren't you standing slightly closer to this one guy with a sword? So it made me do the finisher to him instead.
Aww.
Come on, I wanted a bear guy finisher. You know, like, obviously I don't remember a lot of how the combat in this game works, and it's taking me a while to get back to it, but this is, fundamentally, it's not that hard to get into, and it seems really good.
Yeah, it's... And the astounding thing for me is that do you know the story behind Ryse?
Vaguely, I remember there was a giant, like, it was unfinished.
There were 3 different versions competing.
Yeah, and they threw away a bunch of content.
There's a whole Connect version that just never happened.
Wow.
Like this was born as a Connect game. Oh my gosh, I froze as we get the final challenge completed. At some point I'll get to the summary screen, but yeah, oh my gosh.
So there was a Connect version?
Yeah, there was going to be Connect. There was one version where it was on rails and with Connect. There was one where it was actually more open-ended and Assassin's Creed-like, which we're now basically getting with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and now we're playing the version that won out, which was the linear and cheaper one that they were able to get out in time, because this was back when Crytek was deciding that, you know, we're not actually very good at this whole games thing.
We're just going to sell our engine. That's going to be our new thing. We're happy with our engine. We're going to sell our engine. Okay. So yeah, this has been Ryse, Son of Rome. Do you want to load up the Frontier as I close this out? So I can see what that... God, there's so many missions.
Oh, this is with all the DLC. The PC version got all of the Game of the Year, or, well, they call it
content, right. Because I remember there only being like 3 missions or something when it came out.
There was so much post-launch support, because that was the other thing back when, because, I mean, you're right, the microtransactions were absurd, and Microsoft was really leaning into that. But then you also see with both this and Forza 5, they were really leaning into post-launch support. Same thing with Sunset Overdrive. Before EA was going on their whole games as a service thing, Microsoft was like, oh yeah, we're doing this.
Wow.
They were actually being forward-thinking. No one realized it at the time, but they were thinking ahead. It's just that they did it at precisely the wrong time.
Wow. Oh, games as a service. If you wanted a single sentence to explain why I only play indie games, that's it. No, I am not going to log into your game every day. I got stuff to do. What if we came out with a concept so that people would only buy one game and just buy that one game? Well, it would make the entire games industry collapse. Oh. Fuck. You understand the game is built on people buying a new game every month, right? That's what the whole industry is designed around. People aren't buying get a new game every month. You don't have an industry. No, but they don't understand. It's like, no, the only game they need to play ever is Assassin's Creed. And they're going to keep playing that one Assassin's Creed game until the next Assassin's Creed game comes out. Like, no, you're not going to sell me on that, guys. I know you want to.
I don't want to drag the current episode out too much, but this thing is... That came up on the Noobcast recently.
Really?
You remember Nelson, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we were talking with him about how apparently right now one of the big hot new things people are considering in the game industry is subscription services. How that would be a different way of doing it rather than leaning all into the whole traditional games as a service thing. Instead, going for more of a Netflix route where instead of it being getting one thing, it's a bunch of things, but they're smaller and more experimental, and there's also some big ticket stuff to get everybody excited. It's sort of the balance between something like Stranger Things versus Maniacs.
That's ridiculous. Sorry, but I know that I'm from the past, and I know that... Whoa, that was awesome, actually.
That really was.
That little backflip he did over the railing.
Oh, yeah.
I know that I'm from the past, and so I'm not what these corporations are looking for. I get that, but hi, I'm not paying you another monthly fee to play video games, okay? Here's the thing, I pay a monthly fee, well, annually, to PlayStation so I can play things online, and also they give me 3 free games a month, you know? And that's it. I am not paying you a monthly fee to have access to specific games. That's just not happening, guys. Alright, wait, I'm gonna try it. Alright, 2-person set. Yes, 2-person finisher.
And no freezes. Huzzah!
Probably should have tried for the 3-1, but it's fine. Because you don't have to unlock all of the special finishers. In the main game, you have to unlock all the special finishers with experience points. In the Coliseum, they just start unlocked, right?
Well, there is some carryover between all the progression, which, admittedly, once again, kind of a thing that's become a bigger deal now.
Yeah, no, you're right, in many ways, this was a very prescient game. Like, I totally see that. Oh, I have to open it and you have to step on it.
Quick, before it burns! We saved the Wicker Man! Nicolas Cage lives another day. But speaking as someone who was raised as a grumpy old young man, I like owning my games.
Yeah, of course.
But I also, the counterpoint that I will grant is, if it means that publishers start putting out more things like Hellblade, that's the one way they're going to actually make me be okay with the option. As long as it's not forced, I can be okay with the option.
Oh, I see your point, but, I mean, I'm just playing, at some point, I play so many games from Japan, at some point I'm just going to have to learn Japanese. Because, like, over there, you know, they skipped, we had 6 years of the entire Western video game industry telling us you don't get to play single-player games anymore. And Japan just sat out that whole trend. You know? They're just like, no, of course we're going to keep making RPGs and brawlers and driving games. I almost said shooters. Japan does not make shooters.
Sometimes, but it's very rare. Binary Domain, Resident Evil 6.
Binary Domain is the best game there is. Nobody's going to deny that. And when Japan, well, specifically the Yakuza people, get around to making a shooter, obviously it's going to be the best shooter ever. But, and I mean, Vanquish. Although, no, Vanquish was... No, that was all Platinum Games, right?
That was Platinum, yeah.
Yeah, that was Platinum and Sega, so... Yeah, there you go. So they make shooters. Yeah, so it's like I'm just saying, the 2 best shooters of the last generation were both Japanese. And at the same time, America was trying to figure out how to make people pay more money for fewer games. For, like, keep paying more money for the same game they already bought. Whereas in Japan, they were like, here, have Vanquish, the best thing I've ever played, and Binary Domain, a game that's even better than Vanquish. So I can't say enough good things about Vanquish. It's so bad.
The only thing I'm going to contest here is you're saying that the 2 best shooters when there's Dead Space 2 was released in that same generation.
Yeah, but again, Dead Space 2 is a different different animal completely. It's a survival horror game.
It's still a shooter.
It is a shooter, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't call Resident Evil 4 and 5 shooters in the same way that we were talking about with Binary Domain and Vanquish.
I wouldn't call Resident Evil 4 that. I would say that Resident Evil 5 really wanted it to be that. Having tried it recently, it was like, wow, this really wishes it was Gears of War.
It was getting closer, and then Resident Evil 6 is a full-on shooter, a survival horror, and it's way more of a shooter than, for example, Dead Space. Come on, go to critical mode, I want this 3-person kill!
The reason I would say Dead Space still counts as a shooter is because a lot of its core content...
Alright, keep away from my guys, just FYI. I'm trying to get that 3-person,
I got you.
Alright. I just want to see if I can do this before.
As fast as I can. I've got a fat guy stuck in the air. So many fat Scotsmen in this game.
All right, here we go. It's happening. Oh, damn it. It's only a 2. Ah, I had 3 guys right here.
I'll get the spare for you.
You can finish that guy off for me.
You've disappointed us. You die.
That's true. All right, so this has been Ryse, Son of Rome. I'm not going to say it's the best co-op game we've played so far, but it's very entertaining. Like, I'm not going to say it's better than Space Marine, but it's a hell of a lot more forgiving and playable than Space Marine.
Yeah, I think this might have gone over better.
Like, Space Marine is, don't get me wrong, Space Marine is very cool, okay, but that's a little too sadistic too fast, and I don't want to insult the guys who made it, but it's like, you're not great at game flow, Space Marine. It's just like, their entire idea of progression is, every level have 50% more enemies, and that's it, you know? There's no real set pieces, there's no real change-ups except for that one time. We played that thing for an hour, the only change-up was one time we turned on some auto guns. You know, whereas this, you're constantly doing new things, they're constantly changing up the arena in meaningful ways, there's whole new sets of objectives constantly, and again, this is just a bonus mode. Like, this isn't the whole game. This is just a bonus mode. There's a whole 6-hour single-player game in addition to this. And this has the features of a full game. Yeah. And how much is this for people to buy these days? Like 20 bucks?
No, I'm saying usually on Steam it's like 5.
What?
Seriously?
No, but that's when that's during sales. That's during sales. Like,
that's during sales, yeah.
But like normally, if it's not on sale, this thing is like 20 bucks. And I think I could say this is definitely worth 10.
Yeah, no question.
All right, here is this it? No, this isn't it. Man, it's so hard to get these multi-kills going. All right, well, I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, so Unabridged, where should people find your stuff?
Obviously the Unabridged Gamer on YouTube is where I do most of my stuff. I just wrapped up a whole month-long series on every friggin' Battlefront game, even the DS one. Next up for October, we're going to be talking about the Fear series, which everybody's been looking very forward to. And yes, Maddie, I'm going to tell you why Fear 2 Project Origin is bad. And besides that, we're going to be touching upon a couple other horror franchises, including something that Dan is going to be very happy to hear, Alone in the Dark 2008.
Yeah, we're gonna have more conversations about Alone in the Dark 2008. One of my favorite horror games of that generation. But I know that I'm in the minority on that one.
I don't want to spoil, but it's not as dire as you think.
Yeah, it got a ton of bad press, to the point where I actually wrote an article that was specifically a refutation of an IGN article about it.
I can believe that. There's been some slams for some games over the years.
Oh, God. All right, and for me, of course, there's buttons coming up. Any questions or suggestions, go in the comments section below the video. And if you'd like to be here for the live streams, check out the Discord channel, because that is where most new games get played. Usually not co-op games, though, because my internet connection isn't fantastic. So we'll see you back here for more, but until then, au revoir.